What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, in honor of pretty much that monumental Two Blue Vortex chapter that we got, I figured now is the perfect time to go back, reflect, and do a little bit of a tier list for the Two Blue Vortex chapters. This list has pretty much every Boruto chapter. We're not doing all those. We'll be here for too long if we do all those. So just gonna do the Two Blue Vortex chapters, kind of reminisce a little bit, and kind of just go from there. All right. So the first chapter that we got here is Two Blue Vortex Chapter 1, simply titled Boruto Uzumaki. This chapter right here, I don't know. I think I gotta put it. Here's where I gotta put it, man. This is gonna be annoying, I think, just because of the way this is set up. Here we go. Okay. We gotta put Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 1 in S. Solely because, like, the Two Blue Vortex time skip is something that was hyped up for as long as I can remember. Like, from the jump of Boruto coming out, and we saw, like, that first big clash between Boruto and Kawaki, everybody's been wanting to see the time skip. Chapter 1 of Two Blue Vortex delivered that, and then some, dog. As soon as you see Boruto, like, come onto the page and just stomp Code's face in, like, bro, it was just hype. And, like, you got to see all the new character designs. You really got a sense of, like, what's been going on in the story, like, in the 3 years that had passed. But you don't know everything, and they're really laying the breadcrumbs and setting everything up. Peak introductory chapter. I can't really say, like, enough good things about it. I just had so much fun with that chapter, man. Like, it was such a good time in the community as well, because everybody was so excited for this chapter, and when it finally came out, it lived up to everybody's expectations. Chapter 2, on the other hand, chapter 2, I don't know. Chapter 2 was still great. Don't get me wrong. Chapter 2 of Two Blue Vortex is still a great chapter, but I don't know. Chapter 2, in a way, also felt like kind of a setup chapter. Like, it wasn't bad or anything. None of these chapters are really bad. This one was just, out of all of them, this is the most setup chapter that we've gotten out of the 9 chapters that we've gotten from the story. But other than that, man, you got to see more of Boruto and Code. You got to see a lot more of Sarada as a character. She really got to pop off. There was a lot of good things that happened in the chapter. It just felt more like it was a lot of show don't tell in a way, because on looking back on it, they don't want to spoil too much, like, of what happened, like, in before we even get to the time skip. So they don't want to show too much. They don't want to show all their cards. So you kind of get a chapter that is, like I said, more show don't tell, and that kind of was its detriment in a way. But other than that, still a great chapter. Had some really hype moments in it. Really good fight choreography, by the way. Like, can I just say that the Two Blue Vortex fight choreography is, like, it's really great. Like, the Two Blue Vortex fight choreography might be some of my favorites, but that's neither here nor there. That's a video for another time. Two Blue Vortex Chapter 3. I'm going to be honest. I read all these chapters recently. I don't remember everything that happens in these chapters, but I know Chapter 3 is, like, the Uzuhiko. That's the big thing with that chapter. Boruto using the Uzuhiko. So I remember the Uzuhiko being really dope. And, like, another thing that I really liked about that chapter was, you see that Boruto has the toad, and I'm like, I was like, the toad? What do you mean the toad? Like, I was bugging, because I was like, does this mean Kashin Koji's back in the story, pulling up? And, like, I was bugging, bro. Like, that was the first, like, interaction between Boruto and Kawaki into Blue Vortex. Didn't disappoint. You can tell they picked up right where they left off in part 1 of Boruto, like, being wanting to set things right. Kawaki just wants to kill him. So it was really good. I really messed with it. That was a good chapter. I think it was an improvement on chapter 2 because while chapter 2 was show don't tell, chapter 3 really like got down to what they wanted to talk about, and like really showed like we really started seeing more movement in the story, in my opinion. Because while chapter 2 was more just like Boruto code and like some things with the claw grimes, chapter 3 really was like Boruto put in the brakes on code, and then we got a lot more story stuff, which I greatly appreciated. Now, chapter 4, dude, chapter 4 is where things start to get fucking nuts. At this point, there's not a bad chapter. At this point, like once you get to chapter 4, chapter 1 was already peak. Once you get to chapter 4, dog, there is not a bad chapter in the story in Two Blue Vortex. So, with that being said, chapter 4 is an S. Chapter 4 is an S. Like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, the reason why chapter 4 is an S is before like you saw these videos on my page now, I was covering Boruto extensively before, like at the very beginning of the time skip. And I was there, but as some people know, I got nuked by Shueisha, and I had got 2 strikes, and I pretty much had to delete all my stuff. What the this chapter 4, really was the turning point for me, and like it has a special place in my heart because not only like was it a peak chapter, but it helped birth some theories for me. Like, bro, the end of the chapter when you see Sasuke in the tree, and like you see the manifestations of the Ten Tails, you see Jura, you see Hadari, like, bro, it's just so good. Like chapter 4 was such a good chapter, and you see Boruto like fighting all the Ten Tails manifestations, and then he has to. And this is the first time you ever see him have to like run in the story. Like, bro, it was just so good. Such a good chapter. Like, I don't know, man. Like, chapter 4 really showed me like this Two Blue Vortex is gonna be nonstop, like peak after peak, like, and it's just gonna keep going. So that's chapter 4. Chapter 5, dude. Chapter 5 is another one that is so special to me because when chapter 5 was when chapter 4 ended, I had predicted, like, this was one of like my first videos that like really got popular. Like, when chapter 4 came out, I predicted that we were going to get some sort of like flashback chapter in chapter 5. Like, and we were going to see Boruto training with Sasuke, like during the time skip, and see what happened and all that. But I didn't think it was actually going to happen because we weren't really seeing like flashback material at all. So for a little bit, I lost hope, and I was like, maybe they're just going to talk about it, and that'll be it. But nope, dog, bro, that lived up to my expectations. It's the best chapter. It might be my favorite chapter solely because like it was the first chapter that I predict 100% correct. Sorry about that. But that was the first chapter that I predicted like to a T. Like, I predicted the whole flashback thing. I predicted like code, like putting him in the tree and all that. Like, it was like, and then like you got to see more of like Kashin Koji. Like, dude, it was so good. Like, I know I'm rambling and I say like a lot of the same things, but man, like chapter 5 is so good. You get to see so much stuff go on in the story. You got to see that flashback material. You got to see you got to see Jura and all of them like really like develop like their own sense of agency, and be like, I want to kill this person. Like the Mawaiki one's like, I want to go eat Konohamaru, and Jura's like, I want to go eat fucking Naruto, and then Hodari wants to go eat Sakura. Like, they're all developing a sense of agency, and I thought that was so dope to implement into the story, because it's like it makes them more than just killing machines. It shows that they want to have a sense of purpose, and I thought that was really dope. Chapter 6, chapter 6 is another one too, where the Boruto and Mitsuki dynamic is one like this like before we get into the Boruto Mitsuki dynamic. Like I like this chapter too because it's another one that I was talking about extensively. Like this is where my whole Shikamaru theory was born of Shikamaru is going to die. It is set up now. I believe it's going to happen. Chapter 6 was good. I don't think it's the best one. I think it's I think it's definitely ahead of Sarada's of chapter 2 because I like this one solely because this is when my Boruto Mitsuki "You're my son" theory was birthed from. I really liked that. Like it kind of goes down solely because I think the fight could have been one more chapter in length. Chapter 6 was another chapter where it's like, they're like, I don't know, like I'm not really one for the whole like shipping thing, and this one kind of felt like it was catering towards like the shipping angle. I don't know why they're doing that because we all know Boruto was going to get with Sakura anyway at the end of the story, so I don't really know why we're throwing all these different love interests into the story. But chapter 6 is good because it serves as a preamble, and it shows Shikamaru breaking omnipotence and realizing Boruto is actually Boruto Uzumaki. I thought that was so dope because for the longest time, bro, everyone we were all saying Shikamaru was like stupid. Like, is he dumb? How has he not cracked the code yet on this shit? So the fact that we got that, we get to see Shikamaru playing the role kind of like a double agent. I thought that was really cool. I think that's still cool because they're still doing it. Like the fact that Shikamaru was a double agent, like he's working with Kawaki, but he's also working with Boruto because Boruto is the one that can like stop all of this. Like that's really cool. I love that a lot. It creates like a nice like sense of underlying tension implemented into the story. That's so dope. Now chapter 7. Chapter 7 was pretty much a chapter made for me. Like it was like it was like it was like Kishimoto like saw my shit and was like, "Yo, you were talking about Boruto being Mitsuki's son? Yeah, that's pretty much this whole chapter. This chapter, I think it's like an A. Like, it's not the best because I still think the fight could have been better in a way. Like, I think the fight could have been paced a little bit better. I think the dialogue, like, the dialogue was still good, but a lot of it was show. Don't like again. It's my whole show don't tell philosophy. Like they were showing a lot, but like I don't know. Like chapter 7, while I love the material that's in it, I feel like in no short of words, it could have been utilized better. But the reason why it's an A tier is simply because, again, I have an attachment to that material. The Boruto Mitsuki Sun theory, like, I was making videos on that. Those got fucking striked. I have an attachment to that stuff. So I have to put it in A solely because I was like, this is a chapter made, like, for me. Like, like 5 and 7 really felt like chapters that those were chapters where like I felt like I was rewarded for like paying so close attention to the story. That's why I love 7. That's why I love 5. Like those are the reasons why I love those chapters in a way. So there's that. Okay, 2 chapters left. We got chapter 8, dude. Now we're in the thick of things. We're okay. Now I think I'll be able to talk more about things better because even though I read these chapters, they all kind of like mesh together. These are the most 2 recent chapters, so I think I can talk about them a little bit better. Chapter 8. Chapter 8 is a very good chapter. Like, you get a little bit of recap of Boruto Mitsuki. Mitsuki talking to Ada about how he's finally able to know about love. He never thought he was going to be able to know about that in his entire life, but now he knows about that emotion. Like, that's dope. Because Mitsuki is a character, if you watch the anime, Mitsuki was a character that you never thought he was going to be able to experience love. So the fact that he knows that emotion now, like, it hits if you watch the anime. But and then we get Jura Hidari pulling up to the village. Like that was dope. That was crazy. I like that they pulled up to the village. What else happened in chapter 8? Bro, I'm telling you, like again, like I love these chapters, but like I think I read them too fast because they're all meshing together. But I know chapter 8 is peak. I remember that because like when Jura pulls up on Himawari and he's like, I was tracking the Nine Tails, I was tracking Naruto Uzumaki, and I found you. That was one of the craziest, dude. The month wait for that next chapter after we saw that, bro. Dude, when we had to wait, when I had to wait for that, I was like, bro, how am I supposed to wait for this? Like, that's so peak, so peak. But now, okay, this one, I know I should be able to talk about better. Chapter 9. Where do I begin with chapter 9, bro? Where do I fucking begin with chapter 9? You got Ino Shikacho showing out, showing that they're not just fodder characters. They can fight off Jura and all of them. The fact that they were able to fight off Jura and get Himori to safety, that alone makes this S. But you get Boruto, like Boruto versus Kawaki a little bit, and and we finally get to see Karma again. But we see that Boruto does not have control over his karma. Like that was insane to me because Boruto has gotten so strong, and yet he has not mastered his karma marking, and that just throws so many theories out there. Like, can Momoshiki take over if he uses it for even a second? If Momoshiki takes over now, is the world essentially over? Like, and now you get to see Kawaki's plans begin to manifest because you see him really being like, wait, he can't control his karma? So that alone gives Kawaki a plan to use. And I think Kawaki is going to use his karma to drag out Momoshiki and like show everyone like, hey, Boruto is an Otsutsuki and he's going to fucking destroy the village. Because as you see throughout the chapter, like he's talking to the sensory and he's like, hey guys, see Boruto? Yeah, he's where all these other guys are dead. I think he killed them. Like, he's willing to set Boruto up because he knows now the claw grimes are here. And if they find out Naruto's dead, he gets exposed, or he's not, or he finds out they find out Naruto's not dead. Kawaki gets exposed. So the fact now that Kawaki has like this whole plan set up, like, or at least I think his plan is beginning to manifest, really dope. We got to see we get to see what I think Momoshiki's role is going to be, which I already just talked about. We got we got to see Boruto and Kashin Koji and what I think is Orochimaru's hideout. That's pretty dope. Is Orochimaru going to pull up? I don't know. If Orochimaru pulls up though, and they're all on the same side, that could be really fucking cool. And what else happened? Um, oh yeah, the one of the best things that I think I've ever like one of the best cliffhangers we've ever seen in Naruto Boruto period, bro. The fact that Himawari has a Nine Tails within her, bro. Like that ending is the whole reason why I wanted to make this tier list because, bro, like the fact that Himawari has the Nine Tails within her is so good for so many reasons because now like Boruto and Himawari have the potential to team up because like Two Blue Vortex, they're both the children of what could be the Vortex representing Naruto. Two Blue Vortex, they have to fight off all these guys. Could be dope. Could be dope. But that's pretty much it from me. This is my overall ranking of the chapters. I have a lot of S tier chapters. I just noticed. I'm not going to change S. I'm not going to change A, and I don't think I'm going to change B. I think for right now, these are the rankings. This could change as things go on, but for now, this is the ranking. All right. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this ranking's valid? Do you guys have your own? What do you guys think? Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, I'm going to talk to you guys next time. All right. See ya.